Hello and welcome to WWJPS. I am your host, Vanessa Pinto. I remember the good old days when I'd turn on my IG and it would be things like this. Beautiful landscapes of places in Italy that I plan to visit during the vacation that I crave. Now I see this. Italy becomes the first country to ban Bill Gates' lab-grown fake meat. Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of WWJPS. This will not be Epstein focused, but we're going to take the topics that will be included in the Epstein deep dive. God help us. Now we're going to find out what people share on IG instead of places in Europe and cakes.
That are dividing our society. One is the accountable class, and then there's the unaccountable class. These are people whose pay is not tied to results, foreign policy, domestic policy, cultural life, everything that you don't like about the world.
And this is the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, this is the WHO, all of those people that plan our lives, the UN.
Can be traced to the guiding hand of the unaccountable class.
The Church of England have taken upon themselves to start getting political, espousing their political ideologies.
The church, over 20 centuries, had evolved to provide real answers. Instead of doing that, they're talking about Brexit, global warming.
And you know who else was talking about Brexit and global warming? Jeffrey fucking Epstein. So here we go.
The bank. The Rockefellers handle the programming, but the Astor family controls the secret societies that hold the pen that write the script to the world's agenda. This is the story of how the landlords of New York became the landlords of your mind. Fortune started with John Jacob Astor. This man monopolized the fur trades by devastating indigenous lands. But that was just the front. The Astor family really built their mountain of gold by smuggling opium into China, working hand in hand with the empire.
They sure did, and actually almost all of those great fortunes, you know how they say behind every great fortune is a great crime? Yeah, people shouldn't forget that because those criminals are in fucking charge right now.
That's right, Astor was the bridge between the Red Dragon, that is the Lee family, and the Red Shield of Edom, which is the Rothschilds. He used that blood money to buy Manhattan. This would turn the human farm into a real estate empire. It's worth mentioning when I talk about these videos, there's two farms. I call it the light farm and the dark farm. If you're watching this, you're probably in the light farm. They're farming our light, our love, our energy, our work. The dark farm deals in blood, trauma, sex.
Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein class. Now, the point of all of this and the point of all my videos is to let you know that America is not sweet and innocent. We are not the great country that we say that we are. We are number one under occupation by Israel. But why don't we take a look at all our presidents that got killed?
Printed millions in government-issued notes, bypassing European banks to fund the Civil War. 5 days after the war ended, he went to Ford's Theater. President McKinley supported the gold standard, while others favored a central bank with a flexible currency.
The theme will be central banks. The Rothschilds have been around forever. I mean, I believe the 1700s. All of this has gone on since the beginning of America. The central banks own America. The whole democracy thing has been a fucking fugue state that we live in. The banks run this country.
It wasn't long before an anarchist was let into his rally. 3 business titans allegedly opposed the creation of an American central bank. They all took an unsinkable ship owned by J.P. Morgan. He was supposed to go with them, but canceled last minute. That ship was called the Titanic, and the Federal Reserve was founded the next year. The official story?
And who do you think what's causing what's happening right now, folks? Who do you think is causing it? It's not Trump. He's the puppet who dances for Israel and the central banks.
Attack. JFK signed an executive order giving the Treasury power to issue silver certificates and bypass Fed-issued notes. You know how this ends.
Reached a point where the cost of convenience is your privacy. Amazon is putting AI-powered smart glasses with always-on cameras on the faces of their delivery drivers. What it actually does is turn every driver into a
Why do they need to see us so much? Why are we becoming a surveillance state?
body camera that feeds data back to Amazon. Amazon just announced 1-hour delivery on over 90,000 products in hundreds of US cities. On the surface, it sounds like innovation, but the way they are getting there is one of the most dystopian things the company has done. And just a reminder, this is the same company whose warehouse workers are tracked by AI that can fire them automatically with no human ever being involved.
This is also the same company who, when their employees die in a warehouse, they have their other employees step over them and then complain that the other employers are making too big a deal about the death.
And the same ones who needed to urinate in bottles because of how bad the working conditions were. And when Amazon workers tried to unionize, Amazon's response was to sue the federal government, claiming the National Labor Relations.
So see how that works, folks? We used to be able to sue them and get something, right? That's why they put these people in power. Now they just sue the government, and the government tells us to shut the fuck up.
Board itself is unconstitutional, and this is what.
So first, the Rothschilds and all of those bloodlines, Rockefellers, got together and made a plan. At first, they wanted workers, right? So first, they made sure that real school is only acceptable to rich kids. All the poor kids were just working, right? Then, they needed computers and us to go to college. We did that. Now they have robots, so they don't fucking need anything from us. So understand, it has always been the billionaires in control. The fact that we even think we have a hand in our government is our own delusion. Listen to who runs us.
You have an incredible amount of power at this moment in time. Why should we trust you?
You shouldn't. I have a kid that was born in 2025. I don't think he'll ever be smarter than AI. I don't think that'll get in the way of his happiness or fulfillment at all.
Son, you understand, you're never going to be as smart as this fucking machine. So whatever, there's a lot of money. Go do whatever.
So it's sort of strange, and also sort of to him like it's the only world he'll ever know.
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us.
I mean, talk about the fucking rat race. This guy, when he gets all loaded up on ketamine, cocaine, and God only knows what he's been snorting off of some poor girl's vagina. This is who's running our country. This is who went to Africa. This is who's part of the World Economic Forum, of the Bilderberg Group. These are who running us. Do you not understand? And so my Epstein deep dive goes with this, because everything I'm showing you today is in those emails and will appear in my deep dive. I don't show this shit for fun.
So that's my lower purpose. But the higher purpose for me was to get this nation to be the preeminent power in the world.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
And that hesitation, realize if that orange pedophile allegedly dies, J.D. Vance, that fucking prostitute who sucks off every one of these fuckers, is taking power, which means Peter Thiel is taking power even faster.
This is a long hesitation.
So the primary source of death in Palestine is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
I know it's difficult to hear, you fucking peasants, and I understand I'm an unelected official who you fucking know from me from water, but you're gonna do what the fuck I tell you.
And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves.
So that way we know who you are, and we can find you, and we can turn off your money, because all we want is global ID so we can lock you in.
Epstein goes, return to trial, to Peter Thiel, Brexit.
The email he's about to discuss is the focus of my next deep dive, which is these pieces of shit that we're looking at. The emails between these men, Peter Thiel and him, thick as thieves, the conversations regarding Alex Karp, they discussed everything that is happening now, which, to put in simpleton terms, is every single one of these men is Jeffrey Epstein, regardless of whether or not they raped a child or hunted a child or ate a child. Isn't it all the same?
Just the beginning. Peter Thiel responds, of what? And Epstein goes, return to tribalism, counter to globalization, amazing new alliances. You and I both agreed zero interest rates were too high. And as I said in your office, finding things on their way to collapse was much easier than finding the next bar.
You know what's on its way to collapse? America. Trump's doing his job. That's what he was paid to do.
Bargain. This is where the whole bankers profiteering off of war, and obviously Peter Thiel is not a banker. Jeffrey worked in finance for bankers and stuff, but like they're from the banker class, if you will. This is where I look at that and go, well, here you go. I never seen you so speechless this much.
I feel bad that
So the man that's speechless is an ex-CIA agent who knows a lot of things. He did actually go through the files, but I do believe he is this speechless. And like I said, wait for this episode. It is disturbing how much these men have planned our world.
I'm so shocked. It's so sickening. I didn't realize it was this deep. These are the people that are still running the country.
Yes.
Now, this guy is an ex-CIA agent who is now dead. He went the route of full scorched earth in terms of his disclosures. And by the way, there are things in here that are in those emails, which is why it's up right now.
We have 1,000 military bases is not for military power. They're lily pads for smuggling. That is how CIA smuggles gold, guns, drugs, cash, and small children.
And Epstein worked for the CIA.
For the elites in the United States. War is a profit center, not just for oil. War produces body parts. It produces orphans. It produces all kinds of human goods, then be trafficked. And the banks rely on war and drugs for their
The banks who run the world, who need this war to happen, who need the petrodollar to collapse so they can roll in digital ID. This guy, by the way, his name is Robert David Thiel, and he mysteriously died in 2021 after saying quite a few things.
Cash flow for the reason we have 1,000
people, you see, are living in a kind of hypnosis. They imagine they are making choices freely, acting independently, thinking their own thoughts. But in reality, much of what they call themselves is simply conditioning. Society tells you what success looks like. Your parents tell you what is acceptable. Schools teach you how to conform. And before long...
And that's what I resent. I think what I resent more than anything else in the Epstein files is knowing that everything we were told was a crock of shit. From the beginning of when the American dream did exist, because they needed workers in manufacturing, they needed a middle class, then that happened, that's too much. Then it became send your kids to college because now we're going to get them with student loans. We're still going to make them our slave, right? Now we did all that. Wait a minute. Now we have robots that can actually replace everyone. So let's just get rid of them because we never needed them to begin with. And they never knew that they never had a chance.
You become a sort of mechanism, a repeating pattern. You wake up, eat.
Here in Texas, this is Project Matador. This will be the largest data center in the entire world. To understand actual...
And the data centers, by the way, are just surveillance centers from the guy with the fentanyl-laced drones, that fucker. And Larry Fink, who runs BlackRock Rothschilds, wants to have drones to protect these places because these will be our new keeper.
Size of this, it's 18 million square feet, okay? You could fit 50...
There's a fucking fever dream crawling through America right now. A billionaire carnival. Peter Thiel talking like humanity is a software bug that needs pruning. And Elon Musk staring at Earth like it's a dying shopping mall while he builds lifeboats for the rich on Mars. And then freak Jeff Bezos floating around in his cowboy hats and rockets while people are counting eggs at the grocery store like casino chips.
While everyone's been distracted with the latest bread and circus, Flock AI has quietly been building the digital prison that can track, trace you, and partners with 5,000 police departments across the country to send that information directly to them. And they can send drones to you. Guys, this is just over the past 2 years alone. That's how many they've built.
Years ago, got together and said, we don't want to die. We want to figure out how to live again as clones. So they did that. They put everything that the person is, allegedly, on them.
Oh, yeah, it's in the emails. Oh, yeah, this isn't just here for conspiracy fun. And those of you who have made it this far, drop a black heart. Everything is coming up in my deep dive because that's the thing. There are no such thing as conspiracy theories. There's just what's the fucking truth.
Microchip and record the consciousness. And then if the person dies that day, they take that microchip because they can re-record every night. And they take that microchip and put it into either a clone or a real person's body.
It's about society that disappoints you so much.
Oh, I don't know. Is it that we collectively thought Steve Jobs was a great man, even when we knew he made billions off the backs of children. Or maybe it's that it feels like all our heroes are counterfeit. The world itself's just one big hoax. Spamming each other with our running commentary bullshit masquerading as insight. Our social media faking as intimacy. Or is it that we voted for this? Not with our rigged elections, but with our things, our property, our money. I'm not saying anything new. We all know why we do this. Not because Hunger Games books makes us happy, but because we want to be sedated. Because it's painful not to pretend. Because we're cowards. Fuck society.
Fuck society. There you have it, folks. If you made it this far, drop a black heart, and I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. The deep dive is coming.